Hey YouTube, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, Faithful Gang. What is up? Who is the Faithful Gang? Anybody who likes, comments, shares, subscribes, tell all their friends we got the juice on this channel. Most importantly, subscribe and tell all your friends we got the juice on this channel, okay? Y'all better share my channel. Y'all better tell y'all friends we lit on this channel. Speaking of the juice, today we drinking raspberry lemonade. They say when life throws you lemons, make raspberry lemon Kool-Aid, okay? Speaking of life throwing you lemons, that's basically what this story is about to be about. As you can see by the title of this story, I don't even know what I titled this story, but it's about the time when my brother kicked the door in.
What?
Backing up before we even tell the story, and I'm hoping that this could be a really quick story. I've been laughing about this story all day. Like, for some reason, every time I think about it, it just makes me laugh. And so I'm just like, let me tell this story before I get to part 4. I think we on part 4 of our Dating a Narcissist Gone Wrong series. So yeah, let's just get into it. This story takes place back when I was with my kid's father. That man put me through so much hell, but now that I look back on it, we were very young. I'm like, he was literally 18, had just turned 19 when we met. So, and the reason why I found that out is because a little bit later on, I'm going to get into the story of how we met, because that's a whole nother story within itself. Let's just say we was both selling drugs. I used to be his plug, and he used to call me boss lady. So yeah, that's how we ended up like forming a friendship. And then from there, I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was okay with taking it to the next level because this nigga was a liar. Like, I promise you, like, none of my baby fathers got me by telling the truth. Let's just say that. Like, no, these niggas did not get me by telling the truth. Like, some niggas just know that if they tell the truth to you, that the shit not gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? And then it's weird because then they treat you like they hate you. It's just like, well, maybe you should have been honest and I would have did you a favor and not fucked you in the first place. But anyway, back to my original baby father. My baby father grew up in Chicago, right? When he lived in Chicago, his name used to be Slick. And that is a name that was given to him. He did not choose his nickname. It was given to him. And I didn't even know for a long time that his name was Slick. Somebody had recognized him one time and called him by the name. And then he had told me how that used to be his name. And after being with him, I started to realize more and more, like, I see why your nickname is Slick. Like, you was one slick ass nigga. We first met, he was 19 and he lied and he said that he was like 21. And I believe I was 20 at the time. So he had probably like just turned 19, if he was even 19 yet. Like, I don't even remember, okay? But I know that I was 20 and he told me that he was 21. And I believed him because he used to be getting us in the club. When I say us, me and my little sister used to date him and his little brother. And I remember one day, like, me and my little sister, we had like basically moved in with them at this point. And we was cooking breakfast in the kitchen. And then one of the P's came over to buy some trees and they was bagging up at the table. So I hear a knock on the door, so they tell me to get the door. So I open the door and I remember standing there at the door waiting for the dude to leave so I could lock the door back. And I feel like the man just kind of looked around. He seen me, my little sister, you know what I'm saying? She my pretty little twins. They looked in the house, smelled the bacon cooking, seen two pretty bad girls. I wouldn't say bad itches, but I seen two very beautiful women in the kitchen cooking or whatever. Smelled the bacon in the air, seen the pound of weed being bagged up on the table, you know, and he just looked around. He was just like, and plus they had a really nice apartment. They had a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom crib. And it was big as hell. And they also, which is funny, they lived next door to my brother, which I did not realize for a long ass time. Like, they lived right next door to my brother. And I'm gonna get into a story about that too, because I had thought about a totally different crazy story about how somebody rob my brother. The dude, he came over, he looked around, you know, the crib was nice as hell. He had two real pretty females in the kitchen cooking. They was bagging up the weed on the table. And he was just made a comment and he was like, man, I am so proud of y'all for y'all to be so young and living this life. Y'all is really doing good for yourself. Like, y'all is 19 years old living this life. And I remember me and my sister looking at each other like, who the fuck 19 in here? If I was 20, the only person that was 19 in that house probably was my little sister. Like, she was probably like 18 or 19, but she was supposed to have been like the youngest ones in the house. I ain't no way that they was her age when this man told me that he was my age. And I think they was both lying about their age, the two brothers, but I don't really know. But it was really no reason to lie, but I guess it would have been because if he would have told me he was like, had just turned 19, I would have never messed with him in the first place. But I mean, then again, he had a lot going for himself at the same time. And I didn't start fucking with him like because of that. It was because, like, I don't know, his personality, we had formed a bond from moving weight together. Anyway, that's how I found out this dude was 19 years old. So basically, I say that to say that when we was going through all the trials and tribulations that we was going through, we was literally some kids. And he was even younger than me. And then mentally, he was even younger than me. The thing that used to piss me off about my baby father is that he used to still try to live the life that we was living before we had kids. And a lot of people try to do that. And it's like, after you have kids, you have to realize that you have kids now. So you cannot live the same life. And it's just like, I used to get mad because it's like, nigga, we met outside. Did you forget that? You forgot I like to be outside too? I didn't just have a baby and start staying in the house because that's what I wanted to do with my life. No, I have to. And so you need to make some adjustments too. My thing was that when I first met him, his house was the party house. So now we're transitioning into it being our home now and it being a family house. But for some reason, when you getting off work, your niggas is meeting you at the crib. Y'all drinking in the morning, like kicking it, like this is still the party house or whatever. So that used to really just piss me off. Like he always had one of his brother's cousins or a nigga over there. And that used to really blow me. Two, he would get home from work. No, he would get off of work and he would not come home. And it was real stressful because when I first met you, I was a get money bitch. Like, remember, I was your plug. You used to call me boss lady. So please don't ever try to act like I was no broke bitch, which I feel like he has started to look at me in that way. I would love to get me a job or get out there and get back to hustling. But you never be at home. You never be at home. So
who gonna watch the baby?
Who gonna watch the baby? This particular day, I remember he had called off work and then he still went out and then didn't come home all night. So I was so mad when he got home and I was like going through his phone. Nowadays, you damn near can't pay me to go through a nigga phone. I do not want to go through a nigga phone. Nigga, don't go through my shit either, okay? Don't get your feelings hurt, baby. If you got to go through somebody's phone, whatever you think is in there is probably in there. So make your decision whether what you're going to do about it or not. Because a lot of people go through phones and still stay in the situation. Like, so what does that do for you that you know? I mean, you still staying and they still doing them. You just know too. Like, that's dumb. You ain't about to hurt my feelings and don't get your feelings hurt looking at my shit either. But that was back in the day when I used to go through phones or whatever, very childish. I'm going through his phone. I'm asking him about shit in his phone. I'm trying to figure out where the hell was you at last night? Why you ain't come home? How you gonna call off, stay out all night, leave me at home with the baby, and then come in the house and think you just finna go to sleep? Like, I just wasn't going for that. So he would not wake up. So I don't know why I got this brilliant idea to get some pepper and start sprinkling it under his nose. So when I started doing that, it started to wake him up. But like as I kept on doing it and he started getting more and more angry when he would wake up sneezing or say he couldn't breathe or whatever. He didn't know what I was doing. He thought I was trying to poison him or whatever. So he was trying to figure out what it was. So finally, eventually, I admitted to him what it was. Like, nigga, it was just some pepper. I sprinkled pepper in your nose, right? So I'm holding my baby on my hip, and I'm telling him that I sprinkled some pepper in his nose. Why this man goes into the cabinet, opens the pepper, the big part of it, and like throws it in my face. But now you done threw it in my baby face too. So my baby like rubbing her eyes and coughing. I'm coughing and stuff. You done did too much, because when I was doing it, I was just sprinkling the shit, or I was holding it under his nose so he could breathe it in a little bit. But now you done open up the pepper and you done threw it in me and my baby face. So you don't give a fuck about nobody. So at this point, I'm ready to crash out. I put my baby down and I just start busting off this nigga like, yeah, we in a full-fledged fight at this point. And it was funny because I remember like after getting out of that relationship with him, like I just remember like I wasn't scared of no bitch. Like at that point, I'm like, I'll fight anybody. Because my baby father used to be a boxer. So it's just like I've been fighting a boxing ass nigga for the last few years. Yeah, I go with anybody at this point. I've been fighting a big ass nigga. I'm not scared of no bitch. I just remember like we got the boxing. And it was funny because like when he used to box me at first, he would win, of course. But then as time went on, you get to start using the nigga moves on them. They start getting surprised. You start whooping their ass back. So now he got to up his shit. So we boxing over, we fighting. He not seeing me. Until why this nigga, I don't know how, got me in plank position, okay, and he's lifting me up and he's picking me up like this, all right? So like this is my back, this is like my legs or my butt or whatever. He's picking me up like this, and this nigga DDTs me, okay?
Take advantage. Oh, and a
correction, the back breaker. He puts his leg up on the couch and he drops my back on his fucking leg, and I promise you, I thought my back was broke.
I broke my back.
what do you mean by that? You
My
broke
back is broken.
what? A vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Now, at this time, me, my mama, and my older brother all lived in the same building. So, when he dropped me on my back like that, and like the fight was over, I got up and I immediately ran to my mama's house, and I was like yelling, trying to tell her the situation or whatever. They was already tired of this nigga, you know, because they like, y'all been boxing for the last few years and I'm tired of this shit, but now y'all boxing in the apartment building that we all live in? Absolutely not. So I run and I'm telling my mama, and I feel like, now, this part of the story is a little bit fuzzy because I had a cousin that had paroled to my mama's house, and then I had another cousin that after my granny died, he kind of always lived with us, or was like always at our house. But he like kind of always lived with us, and he even lived with my brother when my brother ended up moving out the house and getting his own place. I feel like my cousins, one, if not both of them, was at the house. But I don't know where they was in the commotion of me running over there, because I remember my mom then running straight upstairs to my brother's house. So maybe that's where my cousins was, because I don't remember them being at my mama's house, even though they technically stayed at my mama's house. But I think they used to kick it up at my brother's house during the day. So I ran to my mama's house, and I'm telling her what happened. So she immediately runs up to my brother's house and tells him what happened. And I'm running upstairs, and my brother is running past me. So now I'm chasing behind my brother, and I see my brother get in front of my front door. And this man kicks the door in.
What?
Like, he kicked the door so hard, he kicked the fucking locks off the door. I remember like being like speechless, like, oh my gosh, nigga, you just kicked the locks off the door, right? He really didn't have to do that, because I could have opened the door up for him. Like, bro, you just want to be in a movie so bad. And low key, I should have knew, because that's not the first time he did that shit. Like, he he kicked the door off the hinges once, if not twice before, on another apartment. So this nigga just love kicking a fucking door off the hinges. Like, keep your feet off people's door, okay? So I'm just like, he didn't have to do that because I could have opened the door. But I just remember, like, after he kicked the door in and ran in the house, I remember, like, being behind him. And I just remember seeing my baby daddy face and my baby daddy being like, bro, I was finna come unlock the door. You didn't have to do that. The door wasn't even locked. The door wasn't even locked. That's what he was saying. Like, nigga, the door wasn't even locked. Did you even try? Did you even try to open the door? You just go kick the door open? Kick the locks off the door. They up in the house. They screaming. And this is why I feel like my two cousins must have been at my brother's house, because for some reason, all of a sudden now they've emerged. And I feel like my stepfather had emerged too. Now they all yelling, my baby crying, and my mama and them, they saying like, no, let's take this outside. Let's take this in a parking lot. So they go down to the parking lot and all I hear is like a bunch of screaming and stuff. And at this point I feel kind of bad because my cousin that had parole to my mama house is a real life, I'm gonna say assassin, okay? I'm gonna say assassin. Like, he really about that life. So it's just like, you know, and like one of my uncles is too. And like one of my uncles had to tell my cousin them, like, when y'all get into it, stop coming to get me, because it's not finna be what y'all think it is. And after you tell me, I'm going to finish the situation for good. So don't come tell, you know what I'm saying? There's certain people in my family that you don't go tell unless you want the situation deaded completely. Like, I was low-key scared for my baby father at this point, because I'm just like, he outside with my whole family. And that's the thing, like, I did technically start it, you know, because at the end of the day, my family had been telling me to leave him. Like, leave him. This man is abusive. He doing whatever he want. Like, he's making your life hard. But I chose to stay. And a lot of times you think that you're doing the best thing for your family by staying. Some people was spreading a lot of hate towards me on my social media, you know, about being a single mother. And I'm just like, okay, but when I wasn't a single mother, like, please, people, stop acting like y'all relationships just be so great. There is no perfect relationship. There is not, if there is a relationship that has no arguments and no fighting in front of the kids, I've never seen it, okay? And y'all be lying and y'all be self-projecting and y'all be mad and y'all be ready to type some stuff that y'all not even living yourselves, okay? And a lot of people be talking a lot of shit and don't even have kids and families. Like, yeah, let life humble you before you come trying to tell me about what I should be doing. They finna fight. Now I'm scared. Time goes by and then they just come back in the house and come to find out they didn't even fight. So my brother just kicked the locks off the door for no reason.
I had a reason.
What was the reason? What was the reason?
The worst part about it was I did not want to tell my landlord. So until we moved, the locks was broke. The locks was broke until we moved. Like, I never got the locks fixed. The door did not lock. The door closed, but it was barely like hanging on by a thread. Like, if you push the door open hard enough, locked or not, the door was finna open. Yeah, like, before y'all go calling y'all family members to handle a situation, like, just think it through a little bit, okay? Before you go provoking a half-drunk sleep narcissist, think that through too, okay? Because a lot of times we be like playing the victim and we be really provoking situations as well. Like, I did not have to do what I did to that man, but like I said, we were very young. At this time, I was probably 22 and he was 20 at the time. So now, me being almost 40, we were definitely some kids living a very grown life, you know. And that's why I got out the streets early, because I was in the streets very early. If y'all remember my one video that had did numbers, on this page, pistol play, first date pistol play. Like, me and gang, come on now. I was 16, 17 years old, toting guns on the block with this man. So, yeah, by the time I was in my 20s, like, I was done with the streets or whatever. But I guess, you know, within the last couple of years, I just needed a taste of the streets again. I was just like, I ain't had a taste of the streets, and it was fun. It was fun, but guess what? The streets get you pregnant, okay? My back is hurting while I'm telling y'all this story, y'all. Okay, my back is killing me. So that's basically the end of this story. I got this one girl that I follow, and she always be posting like little short stories. So I think that I'm about to start posting like little short stories too, because every story that I have is not super long. I've just been laughing about that all day, and I just wanted to come over here and share that story with y'all so that we can actually start sharing some more crazy stories about me and this man, because me and Slick, okay, baby, we had a time when we was having a time. That's it for that video, y'all. If you like that video, make sure you do so physically. Also, make sure you're joining the Faithful Gang by subscribing to the channel, liking, drop me a comment, turn on your bell notifications so you can be notified every time I post. I will tell y'all to follow me on my social medias, but right now I'm not doing social media because I am trying to focus solely on YouTube, okay? Because I just feel like I'm being pulled in so many different directions trying to post on every social media page that I have. So I'm going to really try to get in my story time bag and really focus on this genre, and we will see where this goes. But I need y'all to be subscribing, I need y'all to be liking, I need y'all to be telling your friends that we lit on this channel. That is the story of how my brother kicked the doors off the locks. I love you, God loves you, and as always, we're gonna see you in the next video.